Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast,
where things will be misquoted
and opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are locked and probably loaded. Hey guys, welcome to Locked and Probably Loaded. I'm your host, DJ Qualls, and I'm here with my good friend Kelly Blackheart. Hey Kelly.
What's up?
I want to kill everybody.
Yeah. It's been a rough morning for both of us.
It has been a rough morning. This is my current mood. Isaac, hit it.
You treat me I would be treated by any stranger on the street.
I want to adopt you all.
Because I am not one of your fans.
And then choke a bitch out. You never loved me. Okay, let me talk you into where we are right now. So last night I took Kelly out for her birthday dinner to Giorgio Baldi in Santa Monica. And I don't know if it's them or us, but I ate like King Henry VIII. I think I have gout now. I ate every rich thing.
I ordered a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I had a pasta with I started with a salad, but it had a ton of cheese on it. And then I moved to a really rich bowl of soup, a giant bowl of soup, and ate most of it. I had 4 pieces of bread, and then I ordered 2 separate pasta dishes that were in butter, and then a piece of chocolate cake at the end of it, and ate every bite of it. And today,
yeah, I was very impressed.
Yeah, and then I went and we left, and my belly was distended, and then I woke up. I had terrible dreams, and I woke up today wanting to choke a bitch out.
Yeah, well, first of all, so we go there and DJ's like, do you want to Uber? And I'm like, I'm not going to be like drinking heavily. You know, it's like I'll have a glass or 2 of wine, but I don't know if you're going to be embarrassed by being in my car because I've been sideswiped. And he's like, I don't give a shit about that. I'm like, cool, me neither. But we pull up and the valet people are just staring at us like, you better not get out of that fucking car.
She's not lying.
Like I had to, you know how they normally come directly to your door? No. I had to go to them. Like, no. Yeah, please park. We go in there. It's a really cute, it was a house before, so they've turned it into a restaurant. Really cute restaurant. The tables are very close together though. So we're basically sitting in on somebody else's date, but they're not speaking English, which was a bummer for me because I love eavesdropping.
But there were people
on dates.
One table over that we couldn't. No, but the lady next to you, remember there was an old lady eating by herself and she was like, happy birthday.
Yeah. But she left like as we were getting there. But the whole time we're there, there's no music playing, right? And that's not the weird part. There's not a lick of music playing. And then all of a sudden I start hearing, it's hard out here for a pimp.
Yeah, they played Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
Do you think they're playing that because somebody back there saw you? And he's like, yeah, probably. I'm like, because this is not the place that I would expect that song to be played.
It doesn't match. Our dinner was like $450. That really doesn't match Hard Out Here with a Pimp or for a Pimp. And
so they played 2 songs. There was another song that played after that we didn't recognize. And then back to no music.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
And Kelly was like, and I was like, no, this happens all the time to me. Like Hard Out Here for a Pimp, it's tricky, shows up a lot. Mm-hmm. It's usually at a bar though, and I'll go over and talk to the DJ and then they'll send a round of shots to the table. So I get something out of it. But everybody who does it thinks they're the first person to ever think of it. Like Rock DJ by fucking what's his name, Robbie Williams, that Madonna song that has DJ in it, Hang the DJ, I've gotten by the Smiths. I don't mind that one. But yeah, Hard Out Here for a Pimp. There it is. I'm teaching Taraji how to sing.
This is an 8-minute clip, though. I don't have the right spot.
Don't take us through all of that. We've suffered enough. I mean, it's a great movie, but the last thing that I'm up for right now is having to fish through something for a clip of something. Anyway, I'm in this movie.
And it's what language is it in?
It's got Spanish subtitles.
Oh, okay.
This one video.
So the funny thing about Hustle and Flow, I was in an elevator with Ludacris. I think I'd been there for like 4 or 5 days and he was just arriving to shoot his part. And I'm going up in the elevator and he was like, oh, are you in this movie? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, who do you play? And I'm like, you've not read this script. I'm the only white man in it. You've not read the script at all. You took a movie that you did not read, Ludacris.
How did he
That's
do in
ludicrous.
it? How did he do in it?
He was great. I mean, he basically was playing himself, or like a meaner version of himself. He's a nice guy.
I still need to see Hustle and Flow.
They're talking about Luda in the community chat on Patreon this week.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, how did he come up?
I'll look it up.
It's just
What
it's
a
just
segue.
random.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So then we go home, and I'm sitting on my couch. I had just opened a beer, and I get a FaceTime from DJ, and I'm like, what the fuck? He never, you almost never call me, but you've never FaceTimed me. And I'm like, what is he doing? You're like, I left my phone in your car.
Yeah, and I had plans for the evening to finish my tax prep from 2023. And I was all teed up. I'm like, I'm going to finish this today and everything's going to be wonderful tomorrow. I'm going to go in so happy to record this podcast and the birds will be singing and the sun will be shining. And it all got fucked up. Kelly was too drunk to drive and I couldn't call an Uber because...
Well, I wasn't too drunk to drive. I'm like, I just opened a beer. Like, I can come to you. And you're like, no, don't drive. And and then I was like...
You said I shouldn't drive. You didn't offer to come... you did not offer to come to my house.
After you start drinking when you get home, you probably shouldn't. So, but then I was like, I'll take Rhino to that park near your house tomorrow morning. But you texted me this morning and... I mean, I had somebody come to my door really fucking early this morning, but also my nightmares were insane.
I'm telling you.
To the point where I'm so glad that I'm able to wake myself up from things because it really felt like a good kind of horror movie. It was very similar to a Strangers type of concept where there are really weird people doing weird shit outside, but I was living in a house where it was like floor to ceiling windows. And it got really fucking scary. And so I woke up and then went back to sleep. Another nightmare. And so I think Giorgio Baldi poisoned us.
I don't think they poisoned us. I think is butter poison? We ate a lot of butter.
But I didn't eat as much as you. And I had steak.
God, I ate a lot.
And my dessert was panna cotta.
Yeah.
So that it wasn't as rich. I don't know that I buy the rich theory. I think I'm going for poison. They did play hard out here for a pimp.
I mean,
they were embarrassed by my car.
There's a certain liability issue in saying that a very famous restaurant in Los Angeles
allegedly. I'm just kidding. They didn't poison us.
They didn't poison us. But I did look up, and having rich foods like a few hours before bedtime definitely leads to nightmares.
Yeah,
And
I didn't feel like shitty or anything like that.
I felt shitty.
Just had nightmares for some reason. But it's not super uncommon for me to have those. Usually when I'm having nightmares, it's my own friends trying to murder me. So...
Do you
Somebody
think it was
analyze
because
that.
you had my phone and you knew that inherently being without your phone is a scary place to be?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay, I'm feeling so much better. I don't want to hurt you all. I'm not going to adopt anybody
Wow.
and choke them out. Did I say that I wanted to when I woke up this morning I was like, who do I want to choke out? Because I thought of this clip right when I woke up, and for some reason. Ashley Olsen popped into my head. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you said I want to choke Ashley Olsen,
Yeah.
and I didn't understand how we
she
got there or what was happening.
I don't know. It's the butter.
I love the Olsen twins.
I love them too.
Well,
I
it
mean,
didn't sound like it this morning.
I would love to hang out with. Two frowning, chain smoking women who are shrouded in.
Listen, I have a resting
37,000 yards of fabric. No, I love it. I love their vibe. They are little ghoulish adults, and I think they're adorable.
Yeah, I think they're very cool.
They're very Eastern European in their facial expressions.
Yeah.
Why did you only want to choke Ashley?
I don't know, because I think Mary Kate has suffered enough.
Mary Kate has throughout their career been kind of the lighter.
She's the bubbly one.
The bubbly one.
I mean, bubbly, like Morticia Addams is the bubbly one of the Addams family. So Ashley Olsen is sort of the Wednesday Addams, and she's sort of the Morticia of the group.
Yeah. Is that really her real middle name? Ashley Fuller Olsen?
Let me see. Like Fuller House?
Yeah, that's weird. They didn't do Fuller House, but I've never knew that.
But they were the Fuller family, weren't they? No, they were Full House.
They were the Tanner family.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Awesome, dude.
You got it, dude.
You got it, dude.
I send that GIF all the time. By the way, I refuse to say GIF for GIF because GIF is for peanut butter only.
Do people call them GIFs?
Yeah, that's
Is that what they're called?
Supposedly how they're actually pronounced, but no. I'm not doing it.
Well, croissant is pronounced croissant, and I don't do that.
That's
Did we talk about that once on the podcast?
What, peanut butter?
No, just that it drives me crazy that people, like there's some British guy who's such a, this guy makes my butt crave buttermilk. He loves to. Well, in America, he's been here like 2 weeks. Well, in America, they do this. In America, hey, hello Americans, it's pronounced croissant, not croissant. And I'm like, yeah, do you go into a bar and order a Rob Roy? Hey, I'll have 2 Bud Lights and a Rob Roy and a Tom Collins. Fuck off.
Yeah, it makes you sound like a pretentious asshole when you're talking completely normally in whatever your accent is, and then hyper individualize a word. It's like, and I'll get the mozzarella. Yeah. Like, shut up.
You're gonna fucking go into
the bruschetta
into a Pizza Hut and be like, I'll have a pizza.
Gabagool.
Croissant.
Yeah. Oh, she's not doing it right.
She's American.
It's
Croissant.
That robot is American.
Yeah. Wait, okay. You can drop down to other pronunciations.
Do you want it in French?
Yeah, please.
Croissant.
It's right above her face.
Oh.
There you go. Oh, British.
Croissant.
Croissant.
Croissant in it. Croissant in it.
Excuse me, I'll have a croissant.
Also, you pretentious British cunt. In England, they pronounce the word fillet, fillet.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a chicken fillet burger in it. Although I do love English people.
Yeah, we love using the British.
I say in it all the time.
Accent.
EastEnders, like I've been vocal about, is one of my croissant. Bonjour.
Croissant.
Bonjour.
Croissant.
Have you ever been to France?
No.
Have you been to France, Isaac?
I have not.
You motherfuckers need to travel. I'm taking you to France.
Yeah, great. So here's the thing. I'm in the
ready.
process of filing for bankruptcy. What makes you think that I've gone to fucking France?
I always forget that my friends are poor. No. So I think I should take us on a field trip to France. I would have no problem with that.
Wonderful.
I have 320,000 frequent flyer miles on American Airlines.
Oh yeah, I'll go anywhere.
And we should go somewhere. What was I talking about? France. Oh yeah, and everybody, all the women in France that I've come into contact with, they do this. Bonjour. They all do this, and then they talk normally. So maybe, but some American guy called that British guy out that did the croissant thing, and he was like, how many French people do you know do this? Oh, so hey Pierre, do you want to go to McDonald's? No, do you want to go to McDonald's?
Well, I remember I had to take French when I lived in Canada.
I think French is sexy.
It is, but I only remember like one phrase, and it's "Est-ce que je peux aller de toilette?" which is like, "May I please go to the bathroom?" or like, "Can I go to the bathroom?"
I know this one, "J'aime ton nombril," which means I like your belly button.
Very practical, extremely practical. So
I guess you know what I've done in France. I will say, no, I think I learned that I was shooting a movie in Montreal, and I learned that I saw and did some of the dirtiest things I've ever seen and done. Montreal is one of the dirtiest cities I've ever been to. Everybody's crazy hot. They think they're not Canadian, so it somehow renders them interesting in bed. I don't know how that translates, but I've certainly found that. I'm going to try this on you. You may not like it.
The PowerPoint presentation.
Because I talked to like how people who are really super, like Canadians are still super polite. They're like, hey bud, is it okay if I do this over here? I'm going to touch you over here. Do you mind if I do that? Is this okay? Do you like that? And the French version of it, or the French Canadian version would be, okay, I'm going to do this to you. You may not like it.
Then German, fuck now.
Put your hoodie on, take your hat off, sleep on this mattress. Look at me with hate in your eyes.
Oh, by the way, before we forget, you guested on a Supernatural podcast yesterday called Monster of the Week.
It was so fun. Those guys are adorable.
They seemed so awesome. Like, I was just sitting there listening, but really cool dudes. The episode should be out now already. And so shout out to them, Monster of the Week. It's Monster of the Week, a Supernatural podcast.
At Patreon? No, at apple.com.
You can find it on Apple and Spotify and all of those places. They also have a Patreon. So what they do is they do like a rewatch podcast with Supernatural.
Is that the address right there that you could read out? I can't see. I don't have my glasses on.
This is a book called Monster.
No,
League.
that's not it.
Right.
Not it.
We're good. So, and by the way, before we're gonna actually tell you where you can listen to this. But while we're doing that, hey guys, I'm sorry that we're actually plugging my appearance and your podcast. You guys are awesome, I think this episode will be entitled "We Hate Everybody." We have actually been mean to the French. We've been mean to Germans. We've been mean to British people. Who else were we mean to? The Olsen twins.
Yeah. Oh, the Olsen twins got it the worst though.
Well, actually,
Ashley.
I was actually only mean to one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Mary Kate is
Sorry,
enough.
Ashley.
Sorry, Ashley. I would love to hang out with you and watch you chain smoke. Actually, I would pay for that.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
You know, some people like to have their go to a dominatrix and have their balls stepped on by a woman in high heel shoes and then be beaten with a whip. I would pay a couple $1,000s to be in a room with Ashley Olsen to scowl at me and chain smoke in my face.
Didn't they have a bunch of? I don't know that she's married anymore. I feel like
she was married to the former president of France's brother. His last name was Sarkozy.
Yeah, and I remember hearing that at their wedding they didn't have centerpieces, they just had bowls full of cigarettes. And I was like,
that true?
That's so funny.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah,
That would be amazing. I mean, I don't smoke anymore,
and I'm like,
but I think
that's
it's
a good way to
hilarious.
lean in. I like that.
I think it's hilarious. Years ago, I don't know if I can tell this. I'm going to tell it and then you tell me. Years ago, Ty had a surprise birthday party and somehow, he got this package of mushrooms. It was like 1.5 pounds of compressed mushrooms sent from France to his address. And he was like, somebody just sent me 1.5 pounds of mushrooms. And I was up for his birthday. We threw not a surprise birthday party for him, but it was a big birthday party. And so we went and bought a piñata and just individually parceled out this bag of mushrooms. And everybody got super.
Oh, I remember hearing about that party. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I can tell that.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
I don't remember.
I've talked about doing mushrooms on here
Yeah,
every
but
week.
I'm implicating somebody else.
He didn't do them.
Oh, he didn't? He looked pretty high on mushrooms when he came over and pulled me aside and did this. Where have you been? I'm like 2 inches behind you for the last 7 hours.
He's like, why are you melting? You're like, I don't know.
And then leaned into me and sweated all over me and started hugging me going, I've won. I think we have to cut that whole thing out.
I don't think mushrooms are the thing that people really judge.
Hey Siri, text Ty.
What do you want to say to Ty Olsen's latest number?
Hey Ty, can I tell that story about your birthday where we found those mushrooms and then parceled them out and put them in a piñata? Okay.
We'll find out later.
We will find out. Hold on. Send. Yeah. It's exciting, isn't it? The thing is, I don't want to tell things on people. I don't mind telling things on us.
Yeah. But if people hang out with us, it's probably assumed that mushrooms are not frowned upon.
If you make eye contact, I don't do mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't mind if other people do them. If you make eye contact with me, is it almost like signing a release?
Yes.
You invited me.
Well, what we could have done is just had him bleep out Ty's name.
Yeah, or you can retell it without Ty.
Yeah.
Tell it as a friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that seems hard.
Just bleep out the name.
Yeah.
So we can keep the whole, actually I want to keep all of this stuff. And we can keep the whole, it was, I shouldn't have said his name and then, hey, blank, when I text him.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, Isaac. You know what I'm like.
No, it's okay. Do you guys have instead of a bleep noise, do you have a sound that you want instead of a bleep?
Lavish.
Just so quick. Oh, what was so funny about the Monster of the Week podcast is that they had that drop in there they played for him.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they've been listening, and so they were bringing up things that we've talked about, and I thought that was really cool of them to listen.
It was really nice.
But also to bring that on, it was a good little surprise.
They were really, really sweet dudes.
Yeah.
Their website is monsteroftheweek.cool.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was
So
.cool.
go to monsteroftheweek.cool and listen to the Monster of the Week podcast, which I'm sure you can find on Apple and Spotify.
Yep. They've got new episodes every Thursday.
They have really funny titles, too.
Give me Dean or give me death.
Tim Horton did a racism, I think is very funny.
I love Tim Hortons. Wendy's
don't-
bought it.
What?
Wait, is that?
Yes.
Are they talking about Tim Horton, the coffee chain, or
Yeah.
is there a Tim Horton character on Supernatural?
Tim Horton.
actor.
Oh,
No, there can't be a Tim Horton actor.
there can't.
No, because Tim Horton is the most famous coffee chain in Canada, and we shot it in Vancouver.
Oh, so maybe yeah.
Yeah, there isn't. It's the coffee chain.
Oh, okay. I wonder what they did. Now I got to listen to that episode.
Their sour cream donuts are my favorite donut in the entire world.
Oh, interesting.
They
I've never
are
had sour cream donuts.
Amazing.
I'm a Boston cream donut kind of gal. I don't like donuts, but that
You
is.
don't like donuts? Oh my god, I love
I
donuts.
won't eat donuts unless it's a Boston cream donut from Dunkin' Donuts.
See, I don't like filled donuts. It's just too. It's too much. After a while, I'll start feeling like this. You know what I mean? That sort of like creme patisserie or whatever it's in there. I think it's creme pat. It's in those. It's just like, oh yeah, right there on the. Oh my god, the old fashioned sour cream donut.
He's coming.
That
That actually looks cum glazed.
Good, but there's a bit of sour cream I think in the dough and in the glaze, but it's sweet, so it's not savory, but they're amazing. My favorite cake has sour cream in it.
So
Yeah,
disgusting.
but you can't. You're not tasting sour cream. It doesn't
No.
taste like a sour cream on a taco.
There's acid like sour cream or vinegar in a red velvet cake.
Yeah, it's Isaac. Get some culture. Oh, and by the way, can we just say that Isaac didn't like Lisa Frankenstein the second time he watched it?
Well, I think we already talked.
Did we already talk
didn't
about
we?
that?
Well, we've covered it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I feel like I heard it for the first time at
I
trivia,
love
but
your
maybe-
girlfriend.
Yeah, your girlfriend's awesome.
She's so great,
She's awesome.
and she really likes you.
I hope so.
She really does. I could see it all over her face.
Okay.
For real. You know that she's in Kelly's phone as Lisa Frankenstein?
Yeah, that's super funny.
And the
Well, she
thing
gave
is-
me her psychic's information or like a
Oh yeah.
reader or something like that. So I have a call with her next Monday. I'm very excited about.
See, this is why talk therapy is so good. Because I now am not angry at anybody or hate anybody blindly, and I feel hopeful toward the future now. I really think that you need to talk things out.
Yeah, that's generally better than keeping everything inside.
Wait, did I just invent something? Talking your feelings out to
White
people?
man invents therapy. The whites are at it again.
Hey y'all, do y'all remember last week when I invented therapy?
I'm going to put it on your Wikipedia page.
Exactly.
Inventor of therapy.
Invented therapy July 24th, 2024.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys should try that. So you don't need to get a therapist, just get a friend.
Yeah.
And try telling them about your problems. Not relationship problems,
Or
though. We
I
already covered
think
that.
it probably also works if you write them down and read them aloud or say them aloud. But yeah, I feel completely renewed. Actually, yeah, but I have so much stuff to do when I get home now. I'm in a bad mood again. I hate you, Kelly.
I talk to myself a lot. Like I will talk
too.
out loud to myself and have full conversations that I would have with somebody, because hearing it outside of your brain actually helps you find the holes in whatever your argument or debate is, or helps you kind of figure out the structure of how you would want to present something. And I think a lot of people think it's fucking absolutely batshit crazy to talk out loud to yourself, but I'm like, I'm
do.
alone.
It's a sign of intelligence. That's what everybody says. You know what? I realize I've been playing to this camera. We don't use this shot anymore. And so I've been...
You don't?
No, we only use the 2-shot now, don't we?
That's completely opposit.
No. You only use this one. We don't use this
We
one.
only use the wide when we're playing a video that you want me
So
to
see,
play.
my instincts were right. All along. Remember when I visited therapy?
That was an amazing moment.
I love those sour. Anyway, we have to just finish this up because Isaac has these sour cream donuts on the screen. They are so good. I think there's sour cream in them. They're so good. Anybody?
How did you invent therapy and also figure out that sour cream donuts have sour cream in them
I
in the
don't
same
know.
day?
It must have been all the poison that Giorgio Baldi fed me last night.
We can believe that too.
They did not poison me.
Yeah. We do not believe we were poisoned.
Well, I know I wasn't poisoned. I know for a fact that I have gout this morning. Like I ate so much rich stuff. This is exactly what happened to Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Did he invent therapy too?
Right after he invented therapy, he got gout. It drove him crazy. He was eating like duck fat straight out of the duck, like with a spoon. Open up that duck for me. You heard it here first.
The
It's
king.
the disease of kings.
It really is.
Wow.
No wonder everybody was so cranky because they're eating all that rich food.
That's why war happens.
Because of duck fat.
Because of duck fat. Isaac, do you still have that image I sent you that we were possibly going to do last week? Because I
What
had
is it?
some fun little things for DJ. So
Oh, that's me.
I thought you said that's mean, and I was like, what?
No, it's me.
Let me open it up. I just had some questions, and you can.
So, for those of you who don't have our Patreon, there is a collection of TV and movie posters on our screen right now, and they're all things that I'm in.
So your options for this little questionnaire are
Okay.
Road Trip, The Man in the High Castle, Supernatural, Hustle and Flow, Z Nation, Legit, The Core, and The New Guy.
Hey Siri, flip a coin. Tails.
Okay, well, it wasn't an either or.
Is it an 8-sided coin?
Okay, so let's see. Which role that you've done has pushed you furthest out of your comfort zone?
Ooh, that would be pushing me far because I'm kind of comfortable with everything. I do everything. Let's see. What really pushed me out of my it probably was Road Trip because I had the first day I was ever on set. I had to be in tidy whities, and
And your first role.
yeah, it was the first time I'd ever done anything, and I knew when I was doing that there was a delicate line that I was like instinctually walking, that if they started laughing at me, it would probably destroy the rest of my career. And I think I talked about that on another podcast, like the Shermanator from American Pie. You teach people how to treat you, and if you're the butt of the joke often enough, then society starts to look at you like that, and then no one wants to cast you anymore.
Yep, that makes complete
I
sense.
ain't nobody's hoe.
It's hard out here for a pimp. Let's see. In which role did you feel you grew the most as an actor?
Oh, I see what's happening.
What?
I'm picking one. Am I picking one of these things?
Yeah, you're just picking
Out of these.
Yeah, out of these.
Okay,
These are your
perfect.
options, and
Okay.
then you just answer for a question.
Okay.
If you've got any stories that pop up related to the questions, like feel free
For
to.
those of you at home not listening on our Patreon, the options are Road Trip, Z Nation, Legit, The
I
Core.
already-
What? Did we, already
Did
do
we
this?
rewind? What's happening? Yeah, I already said them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'm not listening to you. I have gout.
I had a little deja vu there.
So, what number episode is this?
23 or 4.
Okay, so so every 23, I'm just letting you know, listeners at home or in your car, wherever you are, every 23 or 4 episodes, you're gonna get a bad one. This is the bad episode.
This isn't bad.
It's not.
No, it's very funny.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Just because you repeated something I just said and you weren't
No,
listening
I mean
to me
I
at
was
all, it doesn't
mean
make
to
it
people,
bad.
and you know it's not my nature to be mean. You know how nice I am and altruistic.
Yeah, it's so weird for you to want to choke somebody for no reason.
Sometimes I do want to joke. A bitch, though.
Okay, let's see. Where'd it go? Which role offered you the most creative freedom?
Oh, that's good. Legit, hands down. We rehearsed the whole day like a play, and just went through. I mean, because a lot of we're a single location show. A lot of it was at the house, and we just run through everything. And Jim is such a good writer. Jim Jeffries is such a good
Yeah,
writer,
he is.
and it was. And bringing those characters alive was just absolutely fun. And the interesting thing about it, I mean, there's so many reasons why you take a job. Sometimes it's for artistic freedom. Sometimes it's something you've never done before. Sometimes it's a location. Sometimes it's money. Legit was the least I ever got paid on a TV show. I went into my savings every single month to pay my mortgage, and I did not care. I would still be doing it today if I could. Although me or Jim may be dead if we were together for 10 whole years.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Love the guy, but come on.
Which project had the most memorable behind the scenes moments?
Oh, it wouldn't be.
And if you have any that you can tell us about.
I liked my life in all of these places. Like, Road Trip was in Atlanta. Z Nation was in Spokane, Washington, which is a place I would not have really gone to, and loved it. Legit was in Venice. So I loved being at home.
Yeah.
Being able to be in my own bed. Man in the High Castle. The pilot was in Seattle, but we shot the show in Vancouver. Supernatural Vancouver. The new guy was in Austin, Texas. And I lived there for a year. The core was also in Vancouver, and Hustle and Flow was in Memphis. They all just, there's so many great memories from all of them. I love my time shooting Hustle and Flow because I was in the South. But I'm from sort of the Nashville area, and Nashville has wanted to be, I'm going to go in on Nashville right now, but not in an unfair way.
He wants to slap Nashville.
I actually do kind of want to slap Nashville. Let me tell you about Nashville. Nashville, let me tell you about you. Nashville is a city that I'm from that area, and I have love for it because of memories and childhood stuff. And, you know, it's not a bad place, but Nashville sold its soul to be a big city. Nashville will tear down an antebellum mansion like that is like one of the only architectural existent of its kind in existence to put up a Walgreens. They did that. They want to be. They've always said, "Oh, we're Third Coast. We're Hollywood South. We're all of these things." Instead of being, Nashville is a terrible imitation of Los Angeles. The $20 cocktail is now in Nashville, and it's a terrible Los Angeles, but it was a great Nashville, and it sort of sold its identity away. Memphis is so dirty and so real and authentic and creative, and it's creative without, like, you'll go down Beale Street and you'll see a guy who's been singing there for 20 years for the love of it. There's no sort of ulterior motive. It's to be a part of this culture. And I there's an authenticity in Memphis that I really, really love that I think Nashville just sold away. I mean, and it's even small ways. Like Nashville has become the home of the skinny house, 2 or 3 homes on one lot. Because the idea of personal space that you used to have there, and the idea of celebrating with your neighbors and it being an easy place to live has gone by the wayside because it's been bought and sold.
Yeah, I mean, well, everything's affected by money in that way, which is really sad because when you look at art is so driven by money these days, and then people wonder why art is getting shitty. Like,
why are all these movies terrible? Because the people that own the company that makes the art make light bulbs as their primary.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, so I mean, here's my pitch for Nashville. If you want to see a bunch of exhausted girls that didn't know they were signing up for exercise on one of those bars that you pedal,
bikes.
Go to Nashville. Nashville's become the bachelorette capital of the world, and you will walk around and see two types of those pedaling bars. One where people just started and they're all excited, and after 10 minutes they realize, are we fucking exercising? Are we drinking and exercising? Yes, you are drinking and exercising.
Well, that was wonderful about Nashville, but back to the question, which project had the most memorable behind the scenes moments?
Memphis.
That's not a project. That's not the projects of Memphis.
Hustle and Flow is in Memphis.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see. Which character was most similar to your real life personality?
Oh, can I see them? I forgot where we were. Okay, so for those of you at home, there's a picture of Road Trip Z Nation legit. Okay, the closer to my real personality. Well, Supernatural started writing for me in mind. Like, they wrote it with the idea of me, and then they really started tailoring it to my strengths and my personality. But Garth is so much more patient than I am. I think I'm getting more patient, although you can't tell it from this podcast. It was all the damn butter.
It was the nightmares.
It was the nightmare after butter, the DJ Qualls story. I probably ate a pound of butter last night. So Supernatural probably is the closest. I think I'm pretty loving. Z Nation.
You are extremely loving. You're extremely generous. All of that stuff. Like I've said a billion times, part of your curmudgeoniness is it's a little play up of your regular annoyances, but you're not.
Yeah, I do it so all my straight male friends won't fall in love with me. Let's see.
And it didn't work. No.
Isaac is working.
No, he's drifting.
Isaac. Yeah,
he came to trivia with us. That means he's falling.
That's the step one. Did I answer that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. Where did it go? Which character's journey resonated with you the most personally?
I didn't like my character's journey in Man in the High Castle. I didn't really enjoy. I enjoyed the idea of it, but the execution of that show was not my favorite. I'll be honest.
Okay.
And I think everybody in the principal cast felt that, except for maybe the guy who played the character who was not in the book. Because we all read
they
the
didn't
book.
have to.
Well, we read the book, and the book is beautifully written.
Oh,
and
they
then-
strayed kind of from
yeah,
that
they
story.
strayed so far from it, and it just really got not sort of what we signed up for. So much so that here's the honest truth about Man in the High Castle. I loved it because it took me to Vancouver, and a lot of my experience working on things has to do with situations around the job.
It's not necessarily the work. It's
I've worked
the life.
I've worked on tons of stuff in my career that didn't turn out exactly how I thought it would. And the thing, I'm only mentioning Man in the High Castle because it was so far from what we thought it was going to be. And we got shut down several times for bad writing. For not just bad writing, incongruous writing, writing that literally made no sense based on what we had already done. And that was tough because we felt like nobody was minding the store. Also, we had we had a showrunner, a different showrunner the person who's the voice of the show, a different one every year.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it was really tough because there's no through line.
Right.
And there was a lot of unhappiness in how things were written and how people were being written. And there were a couple of times, and you remember when Joey on Friends said, I write all my own dialogue? I don't write my own dialogue, but there were 2 times that I can remember where we sat down and we got to set, and we're like, this doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, you say this, and then I'll say this, and then you go over there and hold up this. I really did that. There was a scene where we reunite with Juliana Crane, the one who's played by Alexa Davalos. We reunite with her, and it didn't make sense because it was like this. My opening line was this: it's like no time has passed and nothing has happened at all being back with you. And it's like, except you are now in the resistance. You got your face burned off, and I'm gay. But nothing has changed since the last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had to change it, and that makes you feel like nobody's minding the ship. And so much so that between the fourth and final, it was only ever supposed to be 4 seasons. And I asked to be released from my contract. And I've never done that before.
Dang.
I was like, my character has gone as far as it possibly can.
Right.
And I'd never experienced that before because I still have gratitude for being an actor, but I'd never been in a situation where I think I've done everything I can.
Yeah.
The character is.
And that's pretty that's smart to recognize from a standpoint of it's better for it would be better for the show to not have a character that cannot evolve anymore or any of that stuff, and better for your career because you notice how every show that has maybe a bad final season, that's the only thing we can remember. Like we were talking about You're the Worst the other day at trivia, and that's one of my favorite shows ever. And the fifth and final season really kind of jumped the shark, and some people really liked it, and it was like an artistic kind of shift, but for the rest of us who loved the show for what it was, it felt almost like a betrayal.
Yeah.
That you're like, what the fuck happened? And I wish I didn't ever watch it. This kind of same thing with what's the show, Search Party, that the last season of that show
was so fucking weird.
I didn't know what was going on.
So we watched it together.
Yeah, I was so confused as to what happened to the grounding of the story.
Search Party was so beautiful,
so good.
And
Oh
so
my
amazing.
God.
And the last season, you just kept doing this. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, and I've had people push back on that. It's like, well, you don't get it because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but that's the problem. Is like, I don't get it. And
if I am a loyal fan of something and you think you need to explain to me why
I
it's
should
awesome,
like it,
then you have not done your job.
Yeah, I wasn't going into watching the last season needing to be convinced that the last season was awesome. I was expecting it to be, and then I was let down because I'm like, wait, they're in a cult now? What's going on?
It was fucking weird and not good, and I also felt betrayed. Getting back to, but I just want to qualify something. What happened on Man in the High Castle was not one person's fault, and there were a lot of talented people on that show in front of and behind the camera. It was the fact is if you don't have a shepherd on a scope of project that big, it is a show about an alternate universe in the past. It's asking what would have happened if we lost the Second World War. Everything is different. Everything has to be made. Mm-hmm. Like the money, we had our own money. We had our own, the cars were made. Everything was made for that show. The scope of that is so big. And if you don't have a somebody like look at the shows that you love. Look at Breaking Bad. There's a vocal through line through that whole thing. Fargo. There's a vocal through line through those shows, and it's because the showrunner, is it Vince Gilligan? Is that his name? Yeah, who's the showrunner for Breaking Bad. I was on that show. Yeah, Vince Gilligan.
I didn't watch Breaking Bad.
It's amazing.
Well, I tried to watch it.
Breaking Bad. Wait, there's that line from Family Guy. Breaking Bad is the best show in the world, except for maybe The Wire. But it's so great. And then I think Noah Hawley is the showrunner for Fargo, and you can feel it. You go on those shows, and I was on both of those shows. You go on there, and everybody has sipped from the same Kool-Aid, so to speak. Like everybody's in the same.
They're on board.
They're on board.
Yeah.
And you know the parameters you're working under, and it helps you be creative when you know what your structure and your limitations are.
Well, for any creative projects, you need complete buy-in from the people around you. You need people to be like, yes, I see the vision. Let's fucking do this thing. And I'm willing to work hard to make this thing happen. Otherwise, everything goes to shit.
And Man in the High Castle didn't have that. So long story short, but it was really hard to leave it and have that conversation because I loved my life so much in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
I loved my life. After New Orleans, it was the only place that I'd ever lived where I was like heartbroken to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
let's do 2 more.
Okay.
Which project had the most surprising outcome for you?
Well, the most profound was Road Trip because it changed my life instantly. I was talking with the boys on Monster of the Week yesterday, and I'd forgotten this, what the transition was like. Because after Road Trip, I just started working, and so I wasn't alone, and I was always on a set somewhere, and nothing shot in Los Angeles back then. And my next movie after Road Trip, we were shooting at a high school that was occupied, and school was in session. And the producers didn't realize it, and I didn't realize it, that movie had made me so recognizable, and I got mobbed. And the next day I had to have security, and that was just such a mind-blowing moment for me. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. Did you ask that?
Yeah. I
Okay.
said which project had the most surprising outcome for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was surprising because it was like all of my dreams came true in the span of like 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so rapid.
It was very rapid.
Okay, and then the last one, which role taught you the most about yourself as an actor?
Oh, can I see the list again? I learned a lot on Z Nation because I had to act by myself.
Okay.
And with a dog that didn't like me or cooperate. And there were actually 3 dogs because we couldn't afford a good dog. And then after the first season,
All dogs are good dogs.
A trained
No,
dog,
I know.
a good actor dog. But after the first season, I think the dog that we had the first season got like a dog food commercial and got too expensive for us. He became famous. So I'm not joking. We couldn't afford him.
The dog needed security.
We couldn't afford him anymore. So then we get a dog that is like 40 pounds less heavy than this dog is, who is not trained at all, that I put an open jar of peanut butter down my pants and this dog would not come to me. Like I'm dying on the floor and he won't come to me.
Was it Jif?
No, it was GIF. And so Jif is my favorite kind of peanut butter. I think it actually is Peter Pan, if I remember correctly, though. But which is apropos. It was down my pants. Peters.
Not on your dick.
No, I don't
Just
do that
to
Yeah.
make sure that nobody clips that and claims that you're trying to get a dog to lick your dick.
No, that actually, weirdly enough, is a Road Trip tie-in because Kyle says that line.
Oh, right.
Sometimes you put peanut butter. It's not cheating if you let dog lick peanut butter off your balls, something like that. And so in the 3rd season, we had a dog who was a little less not trained. So he was a little more trained than the second dog. But by the 4th season, the dog disappeared. No. So in the 3rd season, here's what happened with that dog. We had a wolf pelt that we stuffed with bubble wrap, and the dog was so not she would tap out. I don't want to be here anymore. And he was like, that 3rd dog was like, you should have paid that Alpo dog more money. He wanted this job. I didn't. And so we had a wolf pelt that we stuffed with bubble wrap that was out of focus in the back, and they would shake his little bed and people thought he was still alive or thought he was still there. And then after in the fourth season, I leave the North Pole and leave my wife and child behind, and you never see this dog again. So I think they ate him.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a bad father. Just to follow up that last question, there's one. In which project did you learn the most from your co-stars?
Oh. Oh, it's probably The Core, because The Core was the first time I did a movie where I was working directly with elder statesmen. Like I worked with Stanley Tucci on that. I worked with Stanley Tucci in Big Trouble also, which was my second movie with the high school thing. But I didn't have a lot of scenes directly with him, but I had scenes directly with him in The Core. Him and Richard Jenkins, who are just two icons and Alfre Woodard, icons of acting. And I think I learned a lot from that. Well, actually, I know I did, because we were shooting on an aircraft carrier, and I was being launched off. I was launched off a couple times to go do publicity and coming back to the thing. And I didn't know my lines. And Richard Jenkins said to me at dinner one night, he was like, "You look like shit. You don't know your lines." And he was like, "You have to learn to say no to people.
Right.
Like, because you said yes to this. That's what you said yes to. And everything that you've...
Like your focus needs to be here.
Yeah. Because you have all of our fates in your hands too." And it taught me a lot. The thing is, there's no real mentoring in this. That's why so many actors young actors are assholes, because everybody tells you go from wherever you are in your life to everybody telling that you're awesome and handing you an umbrella drink
Right.
at 16 that's full of booze,
Dream life,
with diamonds floating in it. And so you start to think that you're amazing. I didn't think that I was amazing. I had the opposite problem. I had imposter syndrome, and I thought, if I don't say yes to everything, they're going to take this from me.
Right.
And also, I was in the closet at the time. Like, I had all of these things going on but just to have an adult or an actor that I really respected going, "You are on the exact wrong path.
Right.
You need to take this seriously. Learn your lines." And now, every time I'm on a set, it is my opus. It's the most important thing I've ever done.
Love that.
And I wish you would. Now that you know that story, will you remind me of that if I wake up wanting to choke one of the Olsen twins? Because I have a job to do here. I let you guys down. But here's the thing. I think this ultimately is a good episode, because you can see, first of all, the dangers of butter. Second of all,
the journey that you've been on.
This is. I feel like I've come to the end of a journey. Where are we time wise, Isaac?
He's been trying to tell us to wrap it up.
45 minutes. Let's kick it over to the Patreon.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little episode wrap up over on Patreon for all of our subscribers there. Thank you. If you're not subscribed yet, we're at patreon.com/loadedpod. You can check us out on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff at loadedpod. And you can send us an email, probably loadedpod@gmail.com. We will solve your problems for you. We will say nice things about you.
And who
we'll
knows?
break up with your boyfriends or girlfriends.
We won't do that, but
I would.
But we'll tell you how to do it. And so, guys, join us for our next episode, where I'll take you from happiness to rage. Bye.
Sit on down and pour yourself a glass.
And tune into your favorite podcast.
Where things will be misquoted.
And opinions ain't sugar-coated.
'Cause DJ and Kelly are